24-hour News 8 is on the radio at Gold 104.5.
The UPS strike taking a heavy toll. Businesses feel the heat and threatening to lay off workers as the strike stops delivery on all kinds of goods and goodies. The cost of some long-distance calling could be going down sharply, possibly more than 70% down over the next few years. And the high risk of high-speed chases. Some police departments say it's time to change the rules.
This is the CBS Evening News, with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The United Parcel Service strike has rolled to the end of its first business week. Negotiators are still trying to break the deadlock that has thousands of workers on the picket lines and millions of packages backlogged. Representatives of UPS and the Teamsters Union met again in Washington today. They plan to continue talking through the weekend. As CBS News correspondent Frank Courier reports, the worker strikers and UPS customers are anxious for the negotiators to deliver a settlement.
We generate like over 1 million pieces.
In Chicago today, management drivers were making deliveries, or trying.
Anybody giving you any trouble, any grief?
Scab, go home! Scab, go home!
But in Dallas, they were booed. For some, the pressure on this 5th day of the strike is showing a worried face.
I'm holding my breath. I'm very nervous. I mean, I may have to start over and look for another job if we lose this.
While the strike is costing UPS tens of millions of dollars in lost deliveries, it is also undermining thousands of small businesses. Bill and Judy Hooper's little bakery in Evanston, Illinois, was shipping lemon cookies to Starbucks coffee shops in 6 states. But the UPS strike has killed that part of their business.
Everything we're going to ship has got to go ground. If we were to try and ship 20 pounds of cookies next day air, it costs as much as the cookies do.
Or more.
Now they've got 400 pounds of cookies piled up in a basement cooler and 40 employees working, but for how long?
I know UPS is talking about all the part-timers that, their strike is really, based on, and I'm looking around at all the faces here that I'm going to have to start laying off because I don't have anything for them to make.
With their cookie business on hold, the Hoopers hope strike talks succeed, and this first long week of the walkout will be the last. Frank Courier, CBS News, Chicago.
On the front lines of the walkout, an army of UPS strikers stands determined to come between the fill-in workers and their appointed rounds. CBS's Jacqueline Adams has that part of the story.
Teamster Local 25 is a rowdy group, always has been. And this week's 23 arrests have made these workers even more committed to stopping the trickle of packages leaving this UPS plant in Somerville, Massachusetts.
It's like the Alamo, Why did they risk all they had? They were outnumbered and everything else. So I figured that these guys are just like that.
With 28 years on the job, Billy Carabino is the old man of the local. He remembers the hardships his men suffered during the last big strike back in 1976.
It was an ugly strike back then. We were out of work 3-something months. Everybody was being threatened with mortgages and everything.
Bitter memories aside, the workers here say they're in no hurry to settle, even though strike benefits are only $55 a week.
If I get hungry, I'll go downstairs to my neighbor. He'll feed me. I'll max out my credit cards. I don't care. I ain't going back to that hellhole.
Why?
Because the deal they're giving us is sour.
To stop the potential for violence, local police belatedly placed these barricades between the trucks and the strikers. And today, UPS executives went to court to try to push the Teamsters back even further.
UPS says it wants to ensure the safety of both protesters and replacement drivers. In response, Teamsters may choose to follow those drivers and picket UPS delivery sites.
We certainly don't stand on a picket line like Gumby and just let everybody go by without expressing, true feelings about what's happening and what the issues are.
Both sides admit these skirmishes are just the noisiest manifestations of the real war going on inside the negotiating room in Washington. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, Somerville, Massachusetts.
In a vote seen as a test of organized labor's attempted resurgence, employees of a Wal-Mart store in Merrill, Wisconsin were deciding tonight whether to unionize. It would be a first for Wal-Mart. Wal-Mart has fought off union efforts at all of its U.S. stores. A down day on Wall Street. At one point, the Dow was off more than 200 points. as investors took their profits. At the close, the loss was 156 points. You may want to keep in mind the Dow is still up nearly 25% for the year. Also taking a plunge, only this time by design, is the cost to you of making an international telephone call. At least that's what federal regulators hope will happen over the next few years. CBS News correspondent Sandra Hughes has the Dialing for Dollars story.
At his International Import Art Gallery, owner Jerry Stauffer's phone bill runs about $12,000 a month for international calls.
Here's Mexico, $358. Here's...
Soon he'll be able to count the savings.
Makes my product less expensive, and so right down to the consumer, it trickles down to everybody.
International rates now average 88 cents per minute and would go down to an average of 20 cents per minute over 5 years. For instance, the big three calling companies will pay a maximum of 15 cents per minute for calls to Europe, 19 cents to Mexico and other lesser developed countries, and 23 cents to the poorest nations like those in Africa. The U.S. companies are more than happy to see the rates drop and pledge to turn the savings over to customers. According to the FCC, Americans have been paying way too much to foreign carriers for international calls. But just because the U.S. makes this policy doesn't mean other countries have to comply. And that could lead to a phone war where calls between the U.S. and other countries could be blocked. But telecommunications analysts aren't expecting any long-term shutdown in global communications.
The United States is the promised land. Instead of coming over on boats, these days they come over on the electronic highway. And they all want to do business with us over here.
The FCC is confident that all countries will conform to the new rates and predicts when they drop, Americans will double the number of calls they make overseas. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The Internal Revenue Service is issuing a rare apology. The agency admits it mistakenly sent penalty notices to 90,000 taxpayers saying they had not filed the right tax forms for domestic help when in fact they had. The IRS blames a computer glitch for the mix-up. Still ahead on the Friday CBS Evening News, police departments cracking down on high-speed chases. You're about to see a change in the way prescription drugs are advertised, new insight into how we remember and forget, and Travels with Harry tonight, the town where mad dogs perform minor miracles.
Smart people get their fiber every day. The smart fiber therapy is Citracel. Metamucil contains psyllium, which can initially cause excess gas. Citracel is different. No psyllium, no gas. Citracel, effective relief without the gas.
Well, I used to think all denture adhesives were the same until I tried Super Polygrip. And I found that works best for me because it works great. It keeps everything in place. Super Polygrip. Here's the proof.
Men, is gray hair sneaking up on you right under your nose, making you look too old?
Whoa, it is sneaking up on me. Up here, too.
You need Just for Men gel, made for the hard-to-color gray of mustaches and sideburns. Simply brush in this no-drip gel, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray's gone. Your mustache and sideburns blend perfectly with your natural hair color.
That gray won't sneak up on me again.
Just for Men gel, the sure thing for a natural look.
Trusting the wrong diarrhea medicine can put you in a very uncomfortable position. But you can count on Imodium AD to stop diarrhea, often in one dose.
Sorry.
Take Imodium AD, one dose relief you can count on.
Work boots. Tough on the outside, tough on your feet inside. Not enough cushioning. Dr. Scholl's Maximum Comfort work insoles give you 100% more cushioning. They make work easier on your feet.
CBS News aviation correspondent Bob Orr reports tonight there are problems with one of the black boxes recovered from that Fine Air cargo plane crash. His sources report this could make it hard to decipher what caused the DC-8 crash yesterday in a busy warehouse district just outside Miami International Airport. There are dropouts in the data on the flight recorder, possibly due to maintenance problems with the box itself. Also today, U.S. aviation officials now say they recently proposed suspending 29 of Fine Air's pilots. That's about half of the company's pilots for safety reasons. The crewmen in yesterday's crash were not on the suspension list. There was another fiery crash today just a mile from where the cargo plane went down. This one involved a tanker truck filled with gasoline. It flipped over and burst into flames. The driver was pulled out, badly burned. This Miami accident caused a major highway to be closed and one airport runway to close. There's news tonight about a growing highway danger of another sort, high-speed police chases. It happens more than you may know. In just the last 24 hours, police arrested a motorist near Sedona, Arizona, after a 100-mile-an-hour chase. In Virginia, a police chase of a motorcyclist reached 127 miles an hour. The cyclist rammed the police cruiser and got away. And in Lubbock, Texas, a high-speed chase Wednesday ended when the motorist hit a police car and was shot dead. That's just for starters, as CBS News correspondent Jim Stewart learned in his investigation.
This was last week outside Des Moines, Iowa. The two men in that truck up ahead allegedly stole a lawnmower. The police are giving chase, and this is how it ended. Both men dead. High-speed chases occur every 15 minutes, every day, all over America. A third of them end in crashes, and 1 in 100 ends in a death.
They're going to hit him? Okay, they rammed him. He's up on...
And now more and more police departments are rethinking how they do it. Nearly half of them, like the Washington State Patrol, have just finished or are now rewriting their pursuit regulations. Effective next month, says Chief Annette Sandberg, the do's and don'ts of chases get a lot stricter.
Is teaching officers how to walk the fine line and to know when when they begin to cross that line, when it's appropriate for them to terminate pursuits.
The rules are changing because the penalties for doing it wrong are getting tougher. Cities already pay out millions of dollars to settle claims resulting from high-speed chases. And this fall, the Supreme Court will hear a case to decide whether individual policemen can also be held liable if the person they're chasing is injured. That would just make a hard job even harder, says Virginia State Police Colonel Gerald Massengill.
We certainly don't like to do these things, but it's in the best interest of the public that we be able to do this, have the authority and the resources to do it.
It's how they do it that's coming under scrutiny. Most departments, for example, now limit a chase to just 2 patrol cars. Many now keep their distance until a roadblock can be set up, and deadly force is a last resort.
Right now, it appears as though this man has now been boxed in by the Orange County authorities. They're going to see shots fired. Shots being fired right now. They might have the spikes set up right below us. Okay, they're going to set up the spikes.
Alternative methods like spike bars to safely deflate tires are also being encouraged, but nothing is likely to slow the steady rise in high-speed chases and crashes, which many police attribute to tougher sentencing laws. Why? Because if a suspect already has 2 arrests cops are finding, he knows that one more strike and he's off to prison. So why not just roll the dice and run? Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
Up on the aging and trouble-prone Russian space station Mir, an all-too-telling agenda. One of the first things the emergency repair and replacements cosmonauts had to do today was practice emergency evacuation procedures. A better day for the Shuttle Discovery astronauts. They tested their wings and robotic arms. The crew checked out a brand-new high-precision arm that can make precise moves and has fine motor skills. The astronauts used the familiar 50-foot robotic arm to launch a new satellite designed to monitor the ozone layer.
This allergy season, go far afield. Because this season, there's Allegra. Allegra is the prescription antihistamine for people 12 and over that gives you non-drowsy relief so you can experience more. This allergy season, live with abandon. Ask your doctor about Allegra and discover how you can really get out there. Allegra. Allegra may cause side effects. In studies, drowsiness occurred in 1 out of 100 people. Others reported cold or flu, nausea, or menstrual pain. Anyone sensitive to its ingredients shouldn't take Allegra. To learn more, ask your doctor or pharmacist. Check out our ad in magazines like Reader's Digest or call.
You found some quiet, you got some room.
Time to enjoy life, and none too soon.
So kick your feet up
and pull your feet up.
Stop making whoopee. You got the moves, your second wind.
Oh, the ride is thrilling, so let the fun begin.
You've earned it all, folks.
And here's the call, folks. for making whoopee.
The newly redesigned DeVille for the time of your life.
How's the UPS strike? Should the president step in? We'll talk to UPS Chairman Jim Kelly, Teamsters head Ron Carey, and White House advisor Rahm Emanuel. Face the Nation Sunday.
A U.S. diplomat leaves for the Middle East tonight, where he'll attempt to jumpstart the stalled peace talks. Envoy Dennis Ross will try to get Israel and the Palestinians back to the negotiating table, despite an increase in hostilities set off by last week's Jerusalem bombings. On Guam today, the search for clues and hard evidence in the Korean Air 747 crash had to coexist with the spiritual needs of grieving families of the dead. CBS News correspondent Barry Peterson is on the scene.
At a Buddhist ceremony near the crash site, this was a day for grieving. Where have you gone? This woman calls to her child. It was a question with no answer. A question asked by the mother of 8-year-old Tiffany Kang, flying on Flight 801 with relatives on a vacation. Her mother, Kelly, rushed here from their home in Los Angeles with shoes and a new dress, believing her only daughter could still be alive.
If she heard my voice, I thought she's gonna call me Mommy. Okay.
But the last survivor was pulled out days ago, and rescue workers long since gave up hope of finding anyone else alive. This is where Kelly Kang said she had to be, down there amid the wreckage. The other families had said the same thing, and they had been turned back. The authorities hadn't reckoned with Tiffany's mother.
I'm just following orders, ma'am.
She wouldn't take no for an answer, and when Guam's governor intervened, she got her way.
Tiffany! 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 Mommy's here! Tiffany! Mommy's here to take you home.
Kelly and her sister Minna Park lost 11 relatives in this crash. Kelly was praying for just one miracle.
No more miracle.
These are people who've lost sons, mothers, brothers. An emptiness even tears cannot wash away. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Guam.
Don't you worry, Polident's been improved, and everything's coming up mint. Only Polident has minty flavor crystals and 25% more mouthwash ingredient to help control denture odor. Try and improve 5-minute Polident and get minty fresh every day.
Dad?
Yeah.
Tom and I have been discussing the M word.
M word. Marriage?
I just hope we're as healthy and happy as you and Mom.
Well, good nutrition helps us stay healthy.
As an occasional meal or snack, Ensure is a source of complete balanced nutrition to help you stay healthy, active, energetic.
To a healthy, happy future for all of us.
Ensure, the #1 doctor-recommended supplement. Drink to your health.
Come on, ice cream for everyone. Oh, none for me, thanks. Why?
Dairy foods do a number on my stomach.
You lactose intolerant?
Huh? You know, gas, bloating. I get it too, but it's no problem anymore. Try this.
Lactaid Ultra. One little caplet just before eating lets you digest dairy foods easily and naturally.
Next time, let's go for milkshake.
With a little Lactaid Ultra on the side.
Lactaid Ultra. Go on, enjoy dairy again. For real milk that's easier to digest, try Lactaid milk.
With Sierra's strength and exceptional power, life's daily obstacles are easily handled. But with Sierra's third door, you will have one less hurdle to overcome. Sierra by GMC, putting you comfortably in command.
This gas. My Lanta antacid can't relieve gas. It can? Fast-acting liquid Phazyme can. Regular antacid can't get rid of gas, but with liquid Phazyme, the gas is gone. Tastes great, not chalky. Liquid Phazyme in cherry or mint.
The year's hottest trotter, Malabar Man, races for the crown jewel, the Hambletonian. Harness racing's most prestigious event, Saturday on CBS.
Federal health officials issued new rules today that could have a big impact on the way prescription drugs are marketed to you in television advertising. CBS News correspondent Eric Ingberg has the prescription for change and the important side effects.
Watching TV ads for prescription drugs today, you see a man in a coat and tie climbing a mountain, or a surfboard skipping improbably across a wheat field. What are the drugs for? Who knows?
The current ads appear to most people to be a little silly.
That's because of the FDA requirement that a drug company couldn't advertise the benefits of its product without also listing the potential risks in some detail. Drug companies could avoid talking about the risks only by being very vague about the benefits, like this.
It's big. Really big.
But now the FDA is changing its guidelines to permit advertising of the drug's benefits so long as the seller also gives a brief warning of any downside.
We want patients to understand that when it comes to prescription drugs, almost always there's no free lunch, that drugs have adverse effects, some of them are worrisome.
So, starting Monday, you'll see ads that say what the drug is supposed to do and contain a warning, such as this spot for an allergy treatment.
Allegra may cause side effects. In studies, drowsiness occurred in 1 out of 100 people. Others reported cold or flu, nausea, or menstrual pain.
Under the new policy, the FDA is also requiring that the drug companies provide consumers with more detailed information about the drug and its potential for trouble in non-TV sources, such as an 800 number, a print ad, or a computer website. Eric Ingberg, CBS News, Washington.
There's new research out today about memory and motor skills. By studying blood flow in the brain, Johns Hopkins researchers found that learning a new physical skill, such as riding a bike, takes about 6 hours. In that time, the memory of the new skill is transferred from temporary storage in the front of the brain to a permanent memory site at the back of the brain. But be careful, this memory can be wiped out of permanent storage if you try to learn a second skill, such as, say, playing a piano, before the first one takes.
Lighten up your coffee with Carnation Coffee Mate Light and fat-free. And enjoy all the rich, creamy taste without all the fat. Your cup, your Coffee Mate.
I thought I was buying the best cold cuts for these guys. Fat-free equals healthy, right? I was so wrong. You got to think about cholesterol, sodium. Oh, yeah, remember calories? Yeah, they still count. Healthy Choice takes care of all that. And they have all of our favorites. Oven roasted turkey, honey ham, bologna. They taste so good, you don't even think about it, which is why I think they're the only ones called Healthy Choice. We just eat what we like. That's simple enough. Get that?
If this is how you see 100% pure Florida orange juice, maybe you need new glasses. Great big glasses, because the American Cancer Society says a healthy diet, including Florida orange juice, may play a role in reducing the risk of some cancers. So if this is still how you see your orange juice, get bigger glasses, because you just may not be drinking enough 100% pure Florida orange juice. Are you drinking enough?
When Wall Street served up its stock du jour, the manager of Steinrow Growth and Income Fund dined elsewhere. He looked for the undervalued, the unfairly maligned, and whatever it took to find them, he did. Who knew to go with him? Over half are customers of Mutual Fund OneSource from Schwab, where over 600 no-load funds are all in one place, along with the tools to choose them. Call now and get our select list free. Investing the way it should be.
Hate the taste of Arm & Hammer toothpaste? Then try new Smooth Spearmint. Now the baking soda toothpaste that dentists recommend most has a refreshing spearmint ribbon of flavor. New Smooth Spearmint from Arm & Hammer.
We end the week with CBS News traveling man Harry Smith. Tonight, Harry takes you to a town that seemed to be rusting away until a visitor arrived. A man with a Midas touch and a priceless diamond.
Jonathan Fleisig makes his living with his hands. A trader at New York's Mercantile Exchange, his hands signal buy or sell. Though birth defects left them anything but perfect, Fleisig's hands had made him a small fortune. But fortune has not been kind the last few years to Lynn, Massachusetts. Much of its proud industrial past sits waiting for a miracle to bring it back to life.
Program!
Folks here, though, will tell you a tiny miracle did happen in Lynn about a year ago.
Here you go. Mad Dog Program!
That's when the Massachusetts Mad Dogs came to town. The Mad Dogs and their dynamic young owner, Jonathan Fleissig.
Fellas, I want to relax. Have a good game, fellas, all right?
Did you dream of being a Major League Baseball?
Absolutely. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't, but, you know, looks like I'm going to have to do it this way.
Jonathan Fleissig bought a baseball team to make his dreams come true. Little did he know he was creating a field of dreams for an entire community.
God knows how he found us here, but it is a gift. It's, you know, what would these 4,000 people be doing tonight?
Fleissig molded the minor league Mad Dogs in an image of what he thought a baseball team should be. Kid and fan-friendly, they outdraw every other team in the league.
It's a lot of fun, it's good entertainment, and it's a lot cheaper than the movies.
The players sign autographs before every game.
Ready position.
They run free baseball clinics for little leaguers.
Good job.
Spike, the team mascot, carries a squirt gun.
What's the best commodity to me? Baseball.
Sometimes when local teenagers come for a game, the price of admission is a Fleissig life lesson.
You must work hard, and you can never give up.
He tells them how to make it in a world that isn't perfect and sometimes isn't fair.
How hard was it when you were a kid to have hands like that?
Well, if sports is what you care about, it was really hard.
Back then, there just wasn't room on the roster for a kid with crippled hands. Now Fleissig takes batting practice before every game. The dreams of the child still live in the man.
I wish I could be out there competing, but I'm not, so, you know, I can't get any closer to the competition than this.
The scoreboard says the Mad Dogs lost that night, but a scoreboard can't count the laughs of the children, or the thrill of a close game, or the lift a local team gives to a town that needs one. Hey, Jonathan, thanks for the helping hand. Harry Smith, CBS News, Lynn, Massachusetts.
And that's part of our world tonight. Now for 60 Minutes, here's Leslie Stahl.
He was serving a life sentence for murder, and they let him out by mistake. How did that happen, and where is he now? Among other places on 60 Minutes Sunday. Also on 60 Minutes this week, a visit with Martha Stewart. And if you don't know who she is, you haven't read a magazine, listened to your radio, or watched television for the past 10 years.
60 Minutes Sunday. I'll be back Monday with the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting from New York. Good night.
Monday, meet a judge who offers drug offenders help instead of hard time. It's called Drug Court, and it works. Find out why. And later in the week, is the prison where Tim McVeigh could spend the rest of his life too harsh, even for its inmates? We'll take you inside. 2 great stories, 1 great broadcast. The CBS Evening News.
CBS News.
Get ready to go for what you know.
It's time for the Jeopardy College Championship.
There's a lot at stake.
Like $25,000.
Watch college students put their knowledge to the test on the Jeopardy College Championship.
Tonight at 7:30 on Wish TV.